So Orlando Scandrick made some comments, and if you don't know, Orlando Scandrick, he's been cut twice by this team. Recently just cut after the Cowboy game because, well, we don't really know why. And honestly, he was not at all an issue in that game, considering I didn't see him on the field that much because I don't think they played him. Because he even goes on to say in his comments on FS1 that they wanted to play younger guys. They're a mess on defense. But not only that, but the biggest thing, and it is the ugly truth about this team, about the entire team, and one of the main reasons why Carson Wentz and a couple of the newcomers like Howard and Sanders and Jackson and even people on defense that aren't newcomers like Rodney McLeod and Malcolm Jenkins are playing as hard as they can. And unlike other players that don't seem to be, the biggest reason why, and it's the ugly truth, and it's 100% the truth, we're still living off, or at least they are still living off the Super Bowl win. As in, they're still on that high. Like, they still won that game, and they just can't get over it, and they can't move on with their lives and live in the present, try to get back there. No, they're living in the past, trying to believe that they're still there. And with Carson Wentz at quarterback, they're looking at him and like, you weren't there. You weren't there at all. And I believe this because if you look at the guys that haven't been performing, Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, even to some extent Zach Ertz, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelce, those are guys that played through the entire run before and after Wentz, pre-Nick Foles stepping in and post-Foles stepping in. And ever since then, I even talked about it last year, going from last season, or at least 2017, the Super Bowl, to 2018, my biggest concern was, can we get over the Super Bowl? Because we're the reigning champs with a different quarterback now, different offensive coordinator, and we still have some injuries, and we're waiting for people to get back on the field. Can we manage? And for the most part, we did, but it wasn't until mid-season where we started to fall apart against the Cowboys, against the Saints. I mean, you saw it just happening right in front of you, and then turns out Wentz was hurt because he's trying to push himself because he wasn't there to win the Super Bowl, and he knows that. The team probably didn't like that because, again, they had Nick Foles right behind them. They were probably thinking to themselves, why not let him play? He's the one that got us the Super Bowl. It's more of the division within the locker room. People are divided. People are not only divided, but they are living in the past. They cannot get over what happened in 2018. They cannot move on and work towards getting back to that this year, headed into 2020. They can't, they just can't fathom trying to do that again. And it shows, because no one's taking accountability for what's been going on. Nelson Aguilar is making excuses as to why he dropped the pass that would have won the game in Atlanta, and why he dropped a potential touchdown against the Cowboys that was right in front of his hands on Sunday night. I mean, I don't know what else you want to say. Lane Johnson talking all this BS about people being late to practices when that's not happening at all, according to people on the defense. So what's really going on here? There's clearly an issue with people who were there for winning the Super Bowl and people who weren't. You see people like Sanders and Howard, and even when Jackson was here game one, and you can see him trying to get back today, how much he wants to get back, how much he wants to play. Carson Wentz, how much he wants to win and how much he wants to play. You see certain people who weren't there for the Super Bowl trying and playing their asses off. And you see other people like Lane Johnson getting beat by DeMarcus Lawrence, somebody who he's always gotten the best of. He's always beaten him. He's never let him sack Wentz or Foles before, ever, until Sunday night. I don't know. Orlando Scandrick, him coming out and talking about it, I mean, it shows that it's just as true as everyone really thinks it to be. There's an issue in the locker. There's obviously an issue in the locker room, but what it is just people cannot move on, and they're not holding themselves accountable. And there's an issue with the coaching, who continue to let that slide, and of course the players for not getting over it and moving on. Peace out, guys. I'll talk to you later tonight when I talk about Eagles and Bills.